真的假的？死哥就这样看着人家在他脸上咬了他2下又跳走，哇，靠腰一直在 BT。一手还在打，不大概是南京剑跟 CLG 2队竞技。来大利好消息是没有魔了，对 CLG 来说是好消息。哇，这个还让尾刀让来大利咬，波龙你出来，谁大？伤害不够，撞，还是不够，伤害还是不够。哦，鲁鲁射死人，为什么会战总是看不到小炮？好奇怪。小炮到底在哪？他在挂网了。Yellow P 到底去哪了？B 组跟 D 组是哪样？好小。The extra ability power from Baron Buff going to help that as well. The inhibitors now open as well as Prey just stayed at that top lane, dealing more and more damage here. This is looking like a very nice push here for Najee. 小炮干什么？每次都没看到他，他妈的已经快要不能打会战。妈的，你还不来？刚那波小炮再赶，你可以再多换几个，但就少你小炮。对方好不容易有不是5个人的时候，靠腰你说不打就不打。看，奶台表示，他妈的我来，你们怎么退啊？Song being very aggressive right now as they just wipe out Crepo. As they see the health bars go down, this says we want to initiate that much more. Going right in on Yellow P. Macdude hardly taking any damage. And there the twisted advance locking up Yellow P. They're all about the Nexus turrets now. The inhibitors are down, but they're just fighting for the fountain steps. They're keeping them on the fountain and not even letting them heal. Macdude getting hit up by the fountain laser, but making it out. The Hexers are keeping him alive after that guard hits him. They drop another inhibitor freak, and right now they are just burning down this base with fury. And this is so good, but they can actually keep pushing despite being a little bit low on health. The Baron buff offering health and mana regeneration.
下一组赛程是什么？还有 C 组吗？还是结束啊？只有 AB 2组。
They are ready to push down this mid lane as well. CLG knows that they're actually set up and ready to defend this. They know that they can really not hold against 3 dead inhibitors. But look at the burst. Froggen taking a lot of punishment for trying to be, nearby to the enemy team, and they're just going to keep pushing forward. Another turret is about to go down. Not going to be good. They have a little bit of time to work with here. EU needs to at least hold off for 3 more minutes.
说一下 ，DG 跟 S 跟小丑是最后一场。
Najin is so far ahead right now, 20,000 in gold, and they have
8 turrets to 0.
They have a complete shutout game going for them right here, and that momentum from the first game is just carrying over in numbers.
外面好像换壁纸，但房东跟我讲过。
Zeke's, Shirelia's, Rabbit and Steptap, another Oracle. So, hey, why not? Let's bring 2. Sure. They are just completely scaling out this game. You can see a 20,000 gold lead. But the one good thing here for Counter Logic Gaming EU is if they can hold, those 2 dead inhibitors are actually going to feed them a lot of gold. Notice that Najee and Sword are only farming in their jungle. There's not a lot of gold in the jungle, really. There's a lot more gold coming in from those side lanes. You're seeing Yellow Pete finally finishing that Infinity Edge. You've got Wicked on Malphite finally starting to get some items for himself.
原本吃兵输一点，想说可以靠会战集体优势扳回来，没想到会战还是打不起来，就真的一去不回了。来大 S 一直会引线，但是不一定赢会战的角色说。但这像他引线又赢会战了，我懂。
CLG EU is able to collapse. This might still be risky if the fight goes exactly perfectly for CLG. Now, Freak, when you're this far behind in a game, and so actually the fight may happen here, so we're going to get ready for that as Wicked tries to unstoppable force through there and execute onto Prey. If his team doesn't have enough damage to follow up, how do you now start this fight that you came to try and do? Well, they want the turret on their side if possible. Like, this is an example right there where Prey is in there in minion range. He's going to initiate it. Let's see what they can do. Unstoppable force and Wild goes for off. Wicked is the focus that he gets out alive. 2 members drop instantly. Froggen and Snoopy go down. Comes out for a bit of damage, but it looks like it just tickles Najin.
没有什么伤害。
Coming out as they push the final turrets in the game, and that is going to be Yellow Beat heading for his fountain.
靠腰还在那边秀操作，对啊。
They are finishing the last Nexus turret. Now we do see them just milling about right in front of the fountain. They are just messing with the fountain laser.
这个死掉会不会列入记录啊？
Najin going up 2-0 and taking out counterlock.
蓝金剑赢了。哇，再来，这个已经确定是蓝金剑要全胜晋级。
Came out with a vengeance, aggression from minute one, the confidence to picking early game champions over and over again, saying, you know what, yes, we'll pick Italy to shut down Malphite. We know Malphite's better late game. Nah, they're not even going to get to late game. Karthus, Tristana, no problem. Let's press now. Let's go for kills now. Let's keep the pressure going. They grabbed a heavy ganking jungler from Maokai who can clear the jungle pretty rapidly and then move on to those lanes.
两队韩国队都要在小组预赛中全胜晋级。
Opened up a lot of openings there, dealt a lot of damage.
不用看，其实我觉得今天大家可以看到这里就差不多了。
That was amazing play by Sword. Every single move they made was the right one. Beautiful job. You know, Freak, it's different. Usually you don't see a team consistently going for the support. But when it's not a sustained support, and you have somebody that's going to help out their AD carry by a shield and has to stay close in the fight, they picked up so many kills off of Crepo because they continued to power court him.
上路一定会输 CS， 这个肯定的，你知道手就是懂。段誉去哪？他不是会在这吗？
The time of their life in that bottom lane. And it was just absolutely perfect. It was a full poke lane with Sona Ezreal. When you've got a lane like that, you just keep looking for damage. And it seemed like Crepo just wasn't quite ready for that. He kept taking harassment over and over. And I don't want to clown on him. He's an amazing player overall. But that lane really was opened up by Najin and Sword, and especially Prey and Kayn together, opening that bottom lane for all the aggression. So let's take a look at what that means for Group B so far. We are halfway through Group B. Got a lot of games played. Let's see what the standings look like here. Najin Sword starting up at the top with 2-0. CLG EU a little bit of a mixed bag here at 1-1. We're going to see Saigon Jokers versus Team Dignitas up next. The thing to remember here is there is still the option of all sorts of crazy, weird ties to still play out here. We've got a lot of games still left to play. The last 3 matches coming from Group B, we still don't know quite who's going to come on through. It's going to be neck and neck. These guys are fighting for elimination with a chance to move on to the quarterfinals tomorrow.
So,
Freak, how do you feel about a game? If you were in this one, oh, I love Froggen's build as well at the end. Selling out and buying 4 haunting guys.
奇怪，段誉不是在河洛客栈
into this game, when you can't even build what you need to build, your composition isn't even working, then innovative strats need to be brought in. Is there any way to really flop a composition to work a different way while in game like that? I think really a lot of that was more their play style than composition. I think they just prepared for a lot of the openings that were made. I think the general builds they were going for, the champions they went for, those were all still going to work actually quite well. That it was just getting caught out one too many times. You know, we saw that gank at bottom lane where they threw away a double kill by jumping onto a Sona with exhausting crescendo. It was just mistakes made in game. I think they had what it took. They just made a couple of bad decisions. Now we're gonna see one of those game-winning pushes up on the replay to see just exactly what it took for Najin Sword to close this game out. See, as they go up into that mid lane, it is just Prey dealing so much damage. Wicked dives in. There's that combo. It's Lulu into Malphite. The knockup everywhere. But there's too much damage. They're so high level. They withstood all that burst. And you can just see how little they cared about Requiem because it's only 28 minutes in. Froggen doesn't have 7 items yet. He does by like 35 or so. But it wasn't that time just yet. Not enough farm for him, and they're just an unstoppable train at this point. When you're a team based on damage more so than utility, all you need are gold and items, and they were not able to get those, that gold and those items. They were not able to sort of scale up throughout that game. That was Sword putting on that pressure and making that one happen. You know, Freak, the way they played and when you're winning in a game, it just opens up so many avenues of ways to win. Usually you see the top lane pushing, but that was all Prey by himself, pushing top, double lift style into the base with Yellow Pete on him the whole time, just like Double Lift had Shen on him the whole time. Just continuously knowing the mechanics, knowing the limit of your champion.
还好小组预赛来说 EU 会晋级，这时候长招才可以理解为什么。
Knowing that your team just has a complete upper hand to dictate the game is really what just made it look like.
大家抢之后是 BO3 吧。
And it was a couple of tricky risks as well, though. You know, the dives early on, the pushes on the turrets, especially that split push, where they knew it was 4v5 on the bottom lane, and they still went for it. They actually still went aggressive. Sword, they went in. Oh, there's 5v. Okay, we'll back out. I think Wicked went back. Now let's go back in and try to bait some more effort out, right? Let's try to keep them, down to this bottom lane. And the entire time, Prey's
我
like,
差不
no,
多
I'm
要
not
休
helping
息
you guys.
了
I'm gonna kill the turret.
后面比赛
You
没有
guys
得
fight,
看，没有
I
什么好
believe
看
in
的
it,。right? And so, to have that confidence to say, it's hard to kill secondary turrets. It's hard to get turrets number 4, 5, and 6. It's a bit difficult overall for a team. And one of the best ways to do that is to split push. But you have to have the confidence to sit in that 4v5 and the mechanics and not give up those kills. Prey was pretty easy. It's 1v0 for a long time. He just started killing minions and the turret fell. That was not too bad. The rest of that team to have the confidence to still pull that out and not give anything up, because that's where you open up comebacks. You make these little mistakes. You get outnumbered on purpose, but it worked out for him. So really great play.
Alright guys, so coming up next we see Dignitas go up against Saigon Jokers.
大概到这里啊，感谢大家今天收看，明天再继续8强。这个转播 A、B 组差不多确定是谁晋级了，开始了，大家拜拜，大家拜拜，对啊，开始了，大家拜。